Well, howdy there, boys and girls. Hey, look, there's 3 people in the room already and 2 likes. You can't beat that with a blunt object. How is everybody? Can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay? Logistics are a little bit different right now. I think the lighting looks better, but I have that kind of like up and towards me. So the lighting's a little bit different. The angles are kind of different, and the camera wanted to use the audio from the headset. And I kept switching it back, so I just want to make sure that that's okay. So whoever is there, Julie's in there. Happy Sunday to you too, Jules. It looks like you and I may be the only ones in the room right now, so far. Anyways, let's see. Little logistics here. Here, let's put on our darker glasses with, these are glare resistant. So I'm not going to be shining lights in your face. Janice is here. Adam is here. Everybody's here. No, everybody's not here, but people are coming in. So hey, Pingu, hello. How are you? Glad you can make it. How's the audio? How's the video? Anybody? Can you hear me? Can you even hear me? Or does it just look like I'm like, it has been long, Adam. That was 2 weeks I took off. Hang on a second. I'm going to take my shoes off just to get comfortable here. Audio is good. Good. Good is good. Can hear and see you. That's good too. I suppose we could get into it. I want to wait till there's more people in the room and everything just to kind of talk about the theme today, because I wanted it to be about travel. Now, again, we do travel. So Trippy, travel, food, right? So the channel is basically about travel and food, and unusual travel and food. And so I think over the years, and yeah, it has been years, that I've been kind of neglecting the travel piece of it. So I kind of wanted to focus on the travel piece of it today. Now, keep in mind, we do have snacks. So we are going to do snacks today. But again, I just wanted to kind of focus on the travel aspect of it. Taking your shoes off. This is, I'm not doing videos of my feet. I'm just taking the shoes off. And besides, I don't know how hot this is, but I got socks on, so it is what it is. Hey, Jared Tierno has entered the room. Welcome, Jared. We started at 11. I don't know if that means we're going to get more people in or not. I'm not sure. Part of the reason that I want Val, you're going to show us some feet. I just did. Thank you, Adam. That's as close as it's going to get. The socks stay on for the benefit of everybody else who has to live here. Don't want to kill Doodle. Where's Doodle? His little bed's right there, and he kind of took off a little bit. So today I'm Claudia. What's with the sheet over the window? Well, first of all, it's not a sheet. It's a tablecloth. And the reason it's over the window is because if I don't put something over the window, there's no curtains there. And if I don't put something over the window, the sun comes in and it backlights me. And as you well know, when you're backlighting, when you're backlit on a video, or when you're doing video, then you're kind of shadowy and you get glare and stuff like that. So that's why it's there. It won't be there tomorrow. Let's put it that way. So, hey, Miguel Rangel is here. The room is filling up. How many we got here? We got, let's see. I always have to remember this one. We have, it looks like 10. So the room is filling up. That's nice. Oh, let's see. Anybody else? Did I forget anybody? Did I neglect anybody coming in? So Pingu, we'll have more explaining to do in a little bit besides just the tablecloth over the window. But no, it's typically there. I think it's just, maybe it just doesn't look familiar because I haven't done a live stream in 2 weeks, but it's typically there. And again, it's to prevent backlighting here. And it's just the only thing I could think of to put up there to keep the light from coming in. Because you can see that even though the blinds are shut, you can see the light coming through there. And if it was coming through really strong and everything, I would be backlit and it wouldn't be as fun. Let's put it that way. So you'd be annoyed because either that or I'd look like I have some kind of halo in some sort of deity sort of way, and nobody wants that. So just like they don't want to see my feet, believe it or not. So I missed you guys, and I'm glad you guys could make it. And it looks like other people as well. It looks like the room is filling up. So I had to open my big mouth because it was 11 people, and now there's 9. So Again, I want to do more stuff moving forward about travel, because again, I mean, as far as the episodes go, I do more food episodes than I do travel episodes. But I can't say I've neglected it. But as far as the live streams go, I do kind of neglect travel, and so I don't know, maybe like thinking of coming up with ways to do remotes, right? So where I'm at some site or something, or I'm at some remote site, and we're actually doing a remote from some other site. I think that would be cool. And any ideas you guys have, so I'm open for ideas. It doesn't look like people have really put much in the suggestion box lately, but we're still working through it. And Portmanteau has just entered the room. Welcome, and welcome back to you as well, Portmanteau. It's Uncle Val, your Trippy pal, pre-cook gaming now, or prep cook. I'm sorry, prep cook gaming. Now, prep cook, please forgive me because in my old age, in my current state, I have a tendency to forget things. So your name doesn't look familiar, and I'm not sure if you've been in the chat before. That if not, then where are you from? Closest metropolitan city's fine. Where are you from? What brings you to the channel? And if you have been here before, just say Val. You're losing it, man. So there we go. But welcome either way. I graduated from home physical therapy. Oh, nice. And waiting to go to outpatient therapy. I'm coming along to get back to my usual routine, getting stronger. Excellent, Jared. Excellent news. We're all pushing behind you. Well, we're not pushing, because that would be wrong, but we're all pushing for you. So let's put it that way. I'm mostly reckless eating family. You're losing it. Okay. I can accept that, prep cook. That's why I put it out there. So speaking of that, we recently was last week. It was last week or the week before. I can't remember, but we've had to take a couple of weeks off. We actually did some We Go main show stuff. So basically, we did some travel. We kept it kind of local. We did, we did Pasadena, Burbank, Glendale, and I think a little bit of Alhambra. So we did a bunch of different stuff. And so I think there's been a couple already put out that Matt already put out, and he's putting them out in little pieces. And so we'll see that. But we actually did one in LA from before, and Matt still hasn't edited all those. So he's still working on that. I need more caffeine too, but I have a whole glass full of it. I'm thinking I'm drinking out of Claudia's mug, and I'm thinking this would work like a mug, but the problem is that it still has the coffee grounds in it, and you get a mouthful of coffee grounds and everything. It doesn't sound like a lot of fun. So he's never going to edit that one. No, I think I've seen a couple of them come out. I don't even remember where he went, but I see videos that he puts up that are months and months and months old, and like some from last year or something. I have to be honest with you. I have some videos that I haven't edited for a while. So I've got kind of a big one of Julie and I going to the iconic and amazing roadside attraction, the original American roadside attraction, actually, which is Plymouth Rock. And so that takes a lot of editing, and so that's why I have not put that one out yet. But we recorded that last year, so I have not put that one out yet. I think there was a couple of other ones that my Griffith Park one took a year to put out. The Griffith Park episode was a series of episodes because it was so long. You just can't do everything in Griffith Park in one day. It was so long that it took up to a year just to edit it, because I had to do it in pieces and I had to go to different places, and I try to wear the same clothes just for continuity. But yeah. Spellbinding Journey to the most monumental of monuments. That is correct, Jules. It's just the words can't adequately put it in context. So you have to see it to believe it, and you will soon. I promise you that. So again, we will have our typical beverages and snacks, but I'm not going to do trivia. Can you guys hear that? You guys can hear that, right? You can hear Doodle barking his stupid head off. Doodle, stop barking your head off. Come here, Doodle. They want to see you. Your adoring public is here. So this past week, I filmed 4 episodes that I guess could consider being travel or road trip videos. Here, some iconic places and some even less known places here in the LA area. So we did Watchtowers, we did Tale of the Pup, we did Randy's Donuts, and we did Fair Oaks Pharmacy. And I don't want to get too much into the explanation of what some of those are. If you don't know them, you could look them up. But they're all fun. They're all interesting. 3 of them involve food, but it's more about the place where we're eating it, so more than the food itself. So we have that coming. Doodle is not happy. Well, it's not that he's not happy. Well, mailman doesn't work on Sundays, so it's like the FedEx guy or something. Did I order? I'm wondering if I ordered something or Claudia ordered something. It's hard to say. All right, let's see what's 11:11. We're still good. So today I do want to talk about travel, and I want you guys to be interactive. So I guys might want you to, we're gonna swap travel stories. We're gonna ask you some questions about travel, not trivia questions, but just like we're just gonna share some stuff about travel. And I want the focus really to be on travel. We may or may not get to a gout mélange today. I have enough stuff to do it. Like I have our typical 8 snacks, but because we're going to be talking about travel or anything, we might not even get to the whole 8. So we're just going to kind of wing it and just kind of go through it. Jules, I'm just wondering why you call portman. Oh, it is manatee. I always thought it's portmanteau, but it's portmanatee. You're absolutely right. Does anybody know what a manatee is? Does everybody know what a manatee is? Do you know what a manatee is? Have you seen a manatee? So I will tell you, and again, because we're talking about travel, I have seen manatees because my second born, Allie, used to live in Venice, Florida, and in the canals in Venice, Florida, and they're really, the canals on the ocean in Venice, Florida. There's manatees in there, and so you can just take a walk along the water, and you'll see manatees and stuff in there. You will also see alligators. But you do see manatees in there. So manatee, it's funny because manatees, supposedly, I don't know how much truth there is, like any of these fantastic animals or cryptozoic creatures or beings, there's usually some sort of basis behind it, right? So like, for instance, when the sailors used to come into ports, they would see this, they said beautiful woman, but I don't know how much rum they had on the ship, but they would see these beautiful women in the water and call them mermaids. These women that would seem to just disappear under the water and just live in the water and call them mermaids. Well, they were manatees. And if you've ever seen a manatee, it's an insult to whatever woman you thought that was, because manatees are not part fish. They're mammals. They're aquatic mammals, sort of like seals, walruses, things like that. And they're very docile, very big, and the problem is that they're very friendly, and so they get caught in boat motors and stuff like that. But manatees were originally what the sailors were calling mermaids. So the whole idea of a mermaid came from manatees, just like unicorns. The first person who saw a rhinoceros, said, well, it's this really big horse with a horn on its nose, and the rhinoceros became the unicorn. Now, I can't vouch for that. I can't say that that's the absolute truth because I wasn't there. But those are the stories, and I have to, and dugongs as well. You're right, portmanteau. With manatee in your name, I would have to trust you. Manatees and dugongs, very, very similar. I think dugongs are smaller, but very, very, and sea cows, same thing. So, and there are some, there was one called the Stellar sea cow, and it lived in the Aleutian Islands, and it is extinct because that's what we do to features. They were on the sea for a long time, is all I'll say. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, she's looking pretty hot. That's a manatee. Doodle, what are you barking at? Doodle, come here. Come here. You say hi to everybody. Come here, Doodle. Here we go. Come on up. Here we go. It's Doodle, the Prince of Dogness, everybody, in his fine, fancy vest. Doodle, you want to say hi to your adoring public? They're out there. They're out there, Doodle. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Doodle, you want to say hi? No? Not so much? Not so much? No? Okay. Sorry about that. He was pretty chill, just laying here. I got his little blankie on him, so he's chill. He'll be with us. I can pick him up later if people haven't seen him. All right, so we're going to kind of get started, and again, I'm going to try to talk a lot about travel, and I hope you guys do as well. Has he been okay with all the changes from packing and such? Well, portmanteau don't spoil the surprise. So we might as well start with it. So, as you guys have probably noticed, the wall behind me is pretty empty, right? The rest of the room is pretty empty. Maybe sounds echoey in here, and the reason is because we are. Let's see. I was gonna make you guys guess, but I give you a clue. We have Trippy Food West and Trippy Food East, right? So we're here in LA, Trippy Food West. Julie is in the Boston area at Trippy Food East. So as of Tuesday, we will no longer have Trippy Food East and Trippy Food West, just Trippy Food, and we will be broadcasting to you from a mile under the city of Boston at the, was it Haymarket Station, Jules? Is that where the door is? Is it Haymarket Station or State Street Station? I always forget. So yeah, we will no longer be Californians. Val, what are you doing here? We will no longer be Californians. We will be massholes. I will be a masshole once again because that's where I grew up. So for me, it's coming home. But no, that's where I felt. Oh, that's right. State Street Station. Yeah, because State Street Station. I don't know how many. Okay, so here's a good travel thing. So I don't know how many of you guys have been on the Orange Line, or I think it's State Street is the Orange Line and the Red Line on the MBTA or the T as they call it in Boston, and there are different levels depending on which line you're at, and you go pretty far down just stay in the train station. So I think it was either State Street Station or Washington Station used to be, there was a department store in downtown Boston called Filene's, and they had a place called Filene's Basement, which is at the bottom of the store, at the bottom of the store. And you could get off the train, you get off the, I don't know if it was the Red Line or the Orange Line, but it was in State Street Station or Washington Station. I can't remember what. Both of those are orange and red. You get off the train, and then there was a doorway. You would walk down these stairs, and you were in Filene's Basement. Well, Filene's Basement. I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it. Like if you went into Filene's Basement, it was like all the stuff that they sold at Filene's, but bargain stuff, the stuff they were trying to get rid of, stuff at really, really low prices, and it was like a melee. It was people punching each other and grabbing things out of each other's hand. It was like, and that's, you knew if you were going to Filene's Basement to try to find a deal that it could end up in fisticuffs, that you could end up getting in an altercation with somebody going to Filene's Basement. So Filene's has been closed for years now, many, many years now. And even the downtown area, doesn't look the same as it does. I'm trying to remember. I think a lot of what later became called Downtown Crossing, I think that's like it's a pedestrian mall now. I don't even think you can drive through there anymore, but it's changed so much. Like Nordstrom Rack, but in and out back alley. Now I know so also in downtown Boston, and we're talking travel, so this is appropriate. Also in downtown Boston, they used to have a huge department store called Jordan Marsh. Now Jordan Marsh had branches or like a different different branch stores all around the Boston area. But the main Jordan Marsh store was downtown Boston. And every year at Christmas time, they would decorate the windows. And when I say decorate the windows, they would build towns with like trains and planes and little elves and stuff like that, little villages and stuff. And half the reason people would go at Christmas time to downtown Boston and to what later became Downtown Crossing. The reason many people would go there is because they wanted to see the windows all dressed up for Christmas at Jordan Marsh. Jordan Marsh is no longer there. If I'm not mistaken, Jordan Marsh got bought by Macy's, and Macy's kind of absorbed all the stores. So what used to be Jordan Marsh stores now are Macy's stores. But Jordan Marsh was only in the Northeast, only in the Boston area. And they had blueberry muffins too. Yeah, that was like, and again, it was kind of like a nice, fun Christmas thing. So even New York City at Christmas time, the fun thing to do if you were in New York City at Christmas time, obviously Rockefeller Center, but also FAO Schwartz. FAO Schwartz was, I don't know if they still are. I think they're still open in New York City. And it was the world's largest toy store. And so I believe it still is, and I believe it's still open. But they had opened an FAO Schwartz in downtown Boston, and I guess it didn't last too long. So Jordan's Furniture bought up the displays and put them up in Avon at Christmas along with the original recipe muffins up in Avon. So like where in Avon? So you can go, there's some place that you can go where you can see the old Jordan Marsh. Oh, Jordan's. I'm sorry. So, and that's another thing. As long as we're talking about Boston, the Boston area, there is a furniture store called Jordan's. It's not Jordan Marsh. It's Jordan's, and they used to have these TV and radio commercials where they say Jordan's, not to be confused with Jordan Marsh, and now like later on the commercial says no longer confused with Jordan Marsh. That's because Jordan Marsh isn't around anymore. But it's interesting that Jordan's bought up those displays. We'll have to check that out, Jules, because some of these displays were pretty old. So I think they were just like handed down over the years. They were pretty old. Had the Jordan's Furniture name on. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out. So we are like, it's almost like camping. We are short on everything because we've gotten rid of a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff is packed up because Tuesday is right around the corner. It's like 2 days away. And so that's why like I'm drinking out of Claudia's mug, because we don't have glasses. We don't have mugs or anything. I have one glass to use today. I have a beer and I have a soda, and I'm going to have to like try some and rinse it out. I don't have the glass bowls to do the gout mélange. I do have this bowl if we need it, but that's really all we have. We have plastic utensils. That's kind of where we are right now. All right, so let's get started. Let's open up our adult beverage, and this is from AleSmith. This is $3.94. I was $3.94. I don't know how this is like a baseball thing, right? Because AleSmith is a brewery that is from San Diego. So I guess this guy who it's dedicated to. If there are any sports fans out there, please explain this to me, because I'm not really well up in sports. So this is $3.94. It was $3.94, and that's like, maybe it's a batting average or something. And I don't know if that's a good thing, a bad thing. I honestly don't know. But this is $3.94 Pale Ale, and it is a collaboration with Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn. So apparently Tony Gwynn, in addition to being a baseball player, also knows a thing or two about beer. Well, we'll find out. Does anybody know who Tony Gwynn is? Has anybody ever heard of Tony Gwynn? I have not. I'm guessing he plays for, what is the baseball team? Is it the Padres? The Padres, the baseball team, I think, in San Diego. So again, this is from AleSmith. And AleSmith Brewing Company was founded in 1995 by Skip Verglio and Ted Newcomb in San Diego, California. This is hand-forged ale. It is a San Diego style pale ale, whatever that means. And it is 6.0 alcohol percent by volume, which is a little bit high, but not too high. I've heard of Tony Gunk, but not that Tony. I've heard of Tony Hawk, but Tony Hawk is a skateboarder and not a baseball player. Travel question 1. Oh, cool. You guys are asking travel questions. That's good. What was your most memorable trip you've taken so far? That's going to be a tough question, Jules. And that question is for the room, right? So you guys answer that question as well. I will try to answer that. It's really hard for me because, I've been traveling. I guess the first time you could say I would travel, when we were kids living in Pennsylvania, I remember my father took us to the Cincinnati Zoo, and it sounds like it's far, but we were living in Pittsburgh, which is the western part of Pennsylvania and right next to Ohio. So it wasn't that far. But my father took us to the Cincinnati Zoo when we were kids. We might have gone to other places. I don't remember too much about it. So my first big travel trip was in 1966 when we moved from Pittsburgh to Boston. So that was the first big trip and the first one I remember. And then I think in a couple of years later, we went to visit my grandparents in Pennsylvania. And I think maybe I was about 8 years old or something. My father, for some bizarre reason, because this is in the late 60s when New York was not a great place, and he took us to New York City, to like Manhattan. I think we went for vacation or something. And the thing that I remember the most about that trip, we went up to the Empire State Building. We went up to the Statue of Liberty. And Julie can attest to this afterwards. We'll talk about the Statue of Liberty. When I went to the Statue of Liberty, I was like 8 years old. I went to the Statue of Liberty, went all the way up to the top. It was 104 degrees at the top of the Statue of Liberty because it's not air conditioned or anything else like that. It's this hollow statue. So like 104 degrees at the top. And then I took Julie for her birthday one year. And because, Julie and I, both our birthdays are in February. And I took her one year for her birthday, took her to New York City. We did a lot of stuff in New York City. Went to World Trade Center and went to, Jules, do you remember if we went up to the Empire State Building? I don't remember if we went to the Empire State Building. No. We did go to World Trade Center and we went to the Statue of Liberty. There's some pictures of Jules at the Statue of Liberty. It was 5 degrees out, 5 degrees. And she had this, my scarf. I took my scarf on, I wrapped it around her face. She had a hat on, she had a parka on, and you just see like her eyes. That's all you could see. It was just her eyes. One of them was closed, elevator wasn't working. Probably the Empire State Building, because we did go up to the World Trade Center at the time. So yeah, that was a memorable trip. Let's see. Let me think about that for a second. Let me pour some beer, and then I think about that. I hate pouring from a can. And again, I don't have my Trippy Food beer tornado glass because it's either packed away or something. I don't know. We'll hope we'll find that. Can't remember if it was Empire. I didn't think we tried to go to the Chrysler Building, so it had to be the Empire State Building. That's a nice smell. A little bit fruity smelling. That's a nice beer. It definitely has like a fruit taste to it. I mean, I think it's just a pale ale. There's nothing special. It doesn't look like they don't say they've added anything to it and everything. So, it's maybe not as light as a lager. Doesn't taste as weedy as a lager, but it's really, really nice. I think like that beer would go really well with like chicken, vegetables, like, that would be like if you're eating a vegetable dish and everything, that beer would go really nice with a vegetable dish and everything. That's nice. That's the thumbs up. All right, so let's go back to Julie's question, which is a great question. What was your most memorable trip you've taken this far? Oh my God, it's so... I would have to say, I think, and I'll tell you the reason why afterwards, is probably Paris, France. And the reason it was memorable is because we flew in. I used to work for a company that, I was a manager of a contact center, and the contact center was in Pasadena, California. But I had 3 people that worked for me in Liverpool, UK. And later we moved the office from Liverpool to Slough, which is just outside of London. And so once a year, I would go and spend a couple of weeks with them, so they would feel like they got some support. I would go out there and spend some time with them. And because we were there for 2 weeks, obviously in the meantime, there's a weekend, right? And I'm not working on the weekend. And so Claudia would go with me because all we'd have to do is really pay for her airfare. We didn't have to pay for my airfare because the company was paying for it, and didn't have to pay for a hotel because my company was paying for it. So you just had to pay for airfare. And so the thing is, she went a few times with me, probably 3 times, I think. And one time we went to Madrid. So we left, I want to say we came in on a Saturday morning. We stayed overnight on Saturday, stayed at a hotel in Madrid, and then flew back on Sunday. But one of the times we were there, we flew to Paris for the day, and so it was like 7:30 in the morning. We flew from Heathrow to Madrid. I mean to Paris, and in Paris you can get the what do they call? They call the metro. You get the metro, and the metro will take you down to along the Seine where all the attractions are and stuff. And so we got there, and it was kind of like raining off and on. So we went past Notre Dame. We didn't go in Notre Dame. We went past Notre Dame. We walked over. I'm trying to remember the name of the bridge, but there's a very, very famous bridge that has these lights on. You'd recognize if you see it over the Seine River. So we did go over that bridge. We went to the Louvre, which was it was kind. We were flying in and flying out the same day. So we went to the Louvre, and we just basically looked at the thing and said, there's some things that we have to see. So we wanted to see the Mona Lisa. We wanted to see the Venus de Milo. We wanted to see the Winged Victory at Thermopylae. I think that's how you say that. So there were some things that we definitely wanted to see that we knew were there. That the thing is, this is my thinking when I travel, and hopefully it's yours too. Is when you go somewhere, try to see as much as you can, because you never know when you're going to get back. So you can always say like, a few years we'll come back here and everything, and sometimes that just doesn't happen. So the idea is plan to see what you definitely want to see, or what you definitely think will be there. And so we walked along the Seine. We saw different things, and we ended up like the last thing we saw before we would turn and come back is the Eiffel Tower. And we obviously wanted to go up to the Eiffel Tower. So just as we stopped there and had lunch at this nice cafe, had steak. It really wasn't expensive. It was, a few euros. And then we got to the Eiffel Tower, and it started raining as we got to the Eiffel Tower. By the time we got the elevator up to the top of the Eiffel Tower, it was pouring rain. So we're at the top of the Eiffel Tower. It's open at the top. So we go, we look, we take pictures and stuff like that. And then I tell people the story, and they said, yeah, we went to the Eiffel Tower. It was pouring rain. And they go, oh my God, that must have sucked. And I said, did you hear me at some point in time saying that we were in Paris? Did you remember me saying that? So yeah, it didn't suck because it was pouring rain. Now, I will also tell you that, again, I mentioned earlier that that I filmed a couple of places locally this past week, because I'm not sure if I'm going to get a chance to again, because we're leaving Los Angeles. Right? So one of the places that I wanted to go to was Watts Tower, and we got to Watts Tower, and it was raining. So it had just stopped. It had been raining all the way until we got down there. When we got down there, it stopped. The clouds parted, a little bit of blue sky. We went in to get tickets, and they said, well, sorry, we're not giving tickets today. We're not giving tours today because of the rain. And I said, but it seems like it's cleared up. And so they go, well, we're going to check. We're going to take a look. And they went in there, and there was like a lot of water on the ground and everything. And they go, yeah, we won't do tours because there's too much water on the ground and everything. And it will take us for a while to get there. I'm like, okay. So what happened is we walked around it. It's very small, and space wise. The drawback is we didn't get a chance to walk through the inside area that had all kinds of found objects and stuff like that. We didn't get to walk to the inside area, but we got to walk around, completely around the outside of it and everything, which is pretty interesting. So, but the thing was, again, rain, and again, you're there and you planned on being there, and take advantage of it while you can. I had this goal of visiting all 50 states by the time I was 50 years old, which I achieved. And when I was in, there was a couple of states that I hadn't been to, and it was getting really close to my 50-year mark. And so that was like Wyoming, and North Dakota. And so I made a special trip out there, and I went in February, and people were telling me, like, why would you go there in February where it's like freezing cold? And it's like, hey, Tom is here. Welcome, Tom. Why would you go there when it's freezing cold? And my thing is like, you go when you can go, right? It's not like there was any attractions that are out that way that were closed because of the cold. Because most of the stuff was either indoors or like a giant, like 4 heads carved into the side of a mountain, or a mountain coming out of the ground, where they're playing. So the snow, the cold, the ice didn't matter. Right? So I did get to see those, and I did achieve that goal of having been to all 50 states. That wasn't the 50th, but that was very close to the end of me trying to achieve that goal. So let's see. Jules says, my most memorable trip may be Dia de los Muertos, Hollywood Cemetery with you and the guys. That was on my bucket list for so long, and the beauty of it was also incredible. Yeah, I suppose we kind of take it for granted. I'm glad that we were able to share that with you. And so the thing that Julie kind of makes it sound like a big deal, and it is kind of a big deal because in LA, being that is close to Mexico and everything, in LA, Dia de los Muertos is a big deal. It's a really big deal. And we're not talking about like the celebration of Dia de los Muertos. Oh, let's put some skulls out. I'm talking about the actual Dia de los Muertos, going to the cemeteries and building ofrendas for people that have gone before you. And it's just kind of it's a celebration of life more so than a mourning of death. And so the one that Julie's talking about at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, they do a big deal at Dia de los Muertos. So you can go to the different ofrendas and you can see the people who are there with their families, and even the ones that have passed on. Well, this was his favorite food, or whatever. And then there's the new part of it. So you have food vendors and you have live music and stuff like that. So it's pretty amazing. And so, yeah, it is a memorable thing, Jules. And for you, especially because you are so into Dia de los Muertos. Julie is so into Dia de los Muertos that she was married on Dia de los Muertos. That's how into it she is. So, yeah, that was memorable for me too, but memorable for me because I got to share that with you. So. My sister trip to England was so much fun. Well, going to Chichen Itza with Chloe was amazing, just walking those ancient ruins. Yeah. It didn't look like anybody else. First of all, the people in the room have gone down. So maybe like they're just here for the snacks or maybe there's something else going on. I don't know that it's like a special thing going on this weekend or anything, but we were up there and now we're coming back down and there's like 5 people, but I don't care. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. We're just trying something different. And maybe it's not working, but we're trying to talk travel. So, okay. So we did our adult beverage. Let's go ahead and open up a snack and continue talking. Let's see. Where is my list here? Okay, let's do these. These looked interesting. These are from Russia. This is Dr. Körner buckwheat crisp bread with vitamins. Now this is like a serving suggestion. They have some tomatoes, some looks like cucumber and some leaves. I don't know. We're just gonna try one of the crackers. And again, this is from Russia. I don't have really a lot of information on it except that the Dr. Körner product line was established in 2016 by Halaprom. Yeah, there's like letters where it doesn't look like there should be letters. Halaprom, which was founded in 1982 in Yartsevo, Russia. When I was stationed in Germany, I was able to do some traveling. So, and that's the thing, Tom, that a lot of people don't realize is that when you're in Europe, it's really easy to go from country to country. I don't know how easy it is now, but in proximity, it's relatively easy. Like if you get a Euro-rail pass, you can go to like all these different cities in Europe, and it's so easy to go from one to. It's like going from state to state here in the United States. So it's like going from like, Boston to Pennsylvania or something like that. So it's relatively easy to do. And so yeah, very, very fortunate. Now, Tom, you were stationed there in Germany. So did that limit your travel? So in other words, like, did you have to wait until, I don't know I'm not sure what they call it when you're in service, that you're expected to stay on base until a certain time, and then you can go and you can do whatever you want. And I don't know how long you can go and do whatever you want. I don't know how that works. Hey, Grub Warper's here. Welcome, Grub Warp. Glad you can make it. Yeah, you got a Eurail pass, and that's the way to do it. You could just you buy a Eurail pass, and you can just go anywhere in Europe. And again, well, when you were stationed there, Tom, you were in Germany, but you were in East. Was it East or West? You were in West Germany, because if I'm not mistaken, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, when you were stationed in Germany, it was when there was an East Germany and a West Germany. Is that right? And that also, if that is the case at the time, you also had your Soviet bloc countries, and they were not easy to get into, like Czechoslovakia and Romania and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll wait for Tom, and in the meantime, we are going to try this. Dr. Körner. Oh, Doodle, do you want to snack? You want to come up and say hi, and I'll give you a snack. Come on. You come up. Come on. Come on up. Come on. Oh, you want me to pick you up? All right. It's Doodle, the Prince of Darkness, everybody. I don't know how he's going to deal with a move. We haven't moved with him before because we got him down while we were down. Doodle, do you want to eat that? Let's see. What is this in it? Rice? Corn and rice? It depends on what's in here, Doodle, because I don't think there's anything. I don't think they put spices in here, which would probably be okay. Ingredients: peeled buckwheat, mix of vitamins and minerals. I think that's okay. Folic acid. I think that's okay. No other stuff. I'll give you a bite of it, but I have your snack here, Doodle. You guys, Doodle. It's Doodle. Doodle, you excited about moving? That's a weird one. It's like Italy. Looks like a dog. Doodle, do you want that? You want some of this? All right. So we're both going to try this. You want to try that? This should be fun. Maybe he wants to try it. Maybe not, because he just spit it out on my keyboard. All right, but what about this one, Doodle? You want that one? Here we go. Here we go, Doodle. You want that? No? All right, I'm going to put that over here in case you want it. Doodle, the Prince of Darkness, everybody, who doesn't like buckwheat cakes. He probably does. He probably is confused, Jules. Most of the time, it was 7 to 4 day, weekends off. I used my leave. Time in the weekend, had 32 days to travel. Oh, wow. Yes, the country's still divided. You had to watch where you went. Where I'm moving to. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were here at the beginning, Miguel, because Port Manatee had kind of spilled the beans on it. So you probably noticed that we don't have our usual posters on the wall in the back there, because we are moving east. We're going back east and going, some people would call that home. And so, like I said at the beginning, we're not going to have a Trippy Food East and a Trippy Food West, just a Trippy Food. And we will be in the Boston area. You are. Yeah. Duh. We're moving into our parents' basement. But our parents are dead, so we'll have to move into our kids' basement. No worries. We're going to talk about it anyway. I'm sorry about that. No, don't worry. Do you need a ride? No, but I need someone to pick me up at the airport, Jules. If you could do that, that would be awesome. All right. I just ate a piece of that, what is it, a buckwheat cake? And it says it's a buckwheat cake, but really it's essentially a rice cake. I don't know if it's is it puffed buckwheat? Maybe. And buckwheat's kind of gray, and this is brown, so I don't know. Tastes like a rice cake. Hey, Joshua, how's it going? It's ote. See what I did there? Buckwheat, ote. It tastes like a rice cake. It's a little bit grainier, I think, than a rice cake. But essentially, it tastes like a rice cake. It needs like almond butter or something on it. It's not bad. It's not, but I think it's just a palate, right? It's just something that you would put stuff on. I'm going to give it a thumbs. I'm going to give it a thumbs in the middle, trending upward. It doesn't taste bad. But there's not a lot of taste to it at all. And I think, again, it's sort of like a bread of a different texture, you know? So, thumbs in the middle, trending upward. Here we go. Tell them to Dad, we're swapping. I'm moving to California. He's moving here. You don't want to move to California, Jules, do you? That's okay. But, well, you won't be able to move in here because our last day is Tuesday. So we have to be out of here. We'll have to find some other place for you if you want to move out here. You would love it. I mean, well, you've been out here. So, you know, you have Day of the Dead and all that fun stuff. So, but there's fun stuff back east too, as we will find out. So as long as we're talking about travel, I never survived there. Yeah, well, it's hard to survive here. Let's put it that way. You know, unless you've got a lot of money. So as long as we're talking about travel, I mentioned earlier that I used to manage a contact center in Pasadena, California. I had 14 people that worked for me, and 3 of them worked out of Liverpool. And then later we moved that office to Slough, which is just outside of London. If you guys have ever seen The Office, the original show, The Office, that was filmed in the UK, that was filmed in Slough, or it was supposed to be Slough. It was probably filmed in a film studio, but it was supposed to be Slough. And Slough, UK, is like the UK's version of where's the US one supposed to be? Like Scranton, Pennsylvania, or someplace like that. So that's kind of like really industrial, kind of like it hasn't been upgraded past the 70s, you know, things along those lines. They've actually been to Slough. So the reason I bring this up is because the company that I work for now is sending me to the UK for training in May. And so I have to go to Bristol, which I've never been to before. I've never been to Bristol, England, right across the border from Wales. And I plan to go to Wales at least one day to say that I've been to Wales. But from Bristol, I'm going to take a train up to Liverpool, where my friend Sharon lives. Her son had put together for us. I don't know if you remember the episode where we did I think maybe we even did a live stream on it. It was the Liverpudlian shoebox of snack. And if you guys, how many people remember that? The Liverpudlian shoebox of snack. So he basically sent this shoebox full of snacks from Liverpool. And we did those we did some episodes. I think we did some in the live stream and everything. And so while I'm in the UK, I'm going to stay for the weekend, and then I'm going to take the train up to Liverpool and visit with them. And I've made the offer to, and especially her son Fletch, who is a big fan of the show. And I made the offer to him, and I said, well, you know, we can film while I'm there, and if you want to be in the episodes, you can. So hopefully we'll be doing some filming in and around Liverpool, which will be fun. We'll also be doing some stuff. We'll do some stuff from Bristol. We'll try and find some interesting stuff from Bristol, and I'll see if maybe there's some way we can do a live stream from there. So that'll be fun too. Trying to think of when we would do that though, because we want to do it. This is in the U of K. And we want to do it so that we have, you know, the same hours here. We'll come up with something. But again, I think that's why I wanted to focus on travel today, because you know, we got stuff like that. All right, so that's okay. Let's do another snack. I think I explained it. Well, yeah, let's do another snack. We'll just keep the pace going on the snacks. If we get to the end of it, we get to the end of it. Let's see. Okay, this one. Yeah, it's kind of dry. It needs something. It needs something like in the picture, some tomato and some, what is that? Stuff in the bottom. Maybe it's cheese. Maybe it's cottage cheese, something like that. Yeah, Janice, the Liverpudlian shoebox of snack. Oh, by the way, so everything is packed up or in boxes or somewhere. I'm not sure. So like I had to go out and get another can opener. Not for the bottle opener, because both of the stuff we're doing today is in cans, but needed the needed a can opener because we have a couple of things that are in cans that don't have a little pop-up thing. So ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you, we're going to call this one Optimus Prime. So this guy is Optimus Prime. Welcome, Optimus Prime. That's a pretty manly bottle opener. Now, again, these are from Asia. So my guess is, yes, there is a Proposition 65 warning on here. This is from the product line is called Baby Star. This is crispy ramen snack imitation chicken flavor, which is typical because most of the ramens are imitation chicken flavor and not real chicken flavor. It's a crispy ramen snack. So this is from a company called the Oyatsu Company. The Oyatsu Company was founded in Japan in 1948. They moved to Taiwan in 2017. And this product line, Baby Star Ramen, was created in 1959. I was created in 1959. It was created in 1959. It didn't show up until months. Lunchtime here, fried meatloaf Sammys. Are you filming that? Because I've never heard of a fried meatloaf Sammy at Tom, and that seems like it would be a good subject for a video. Oh, speaking of Tom, so Tom's here, right? So you guys probably remember, I have to use a knife on this. I can't even find scissors. You guys probably remember that I did with Tom. Tom has another channel that he calls the Old Guy Radio Players. And so we have the George and Pudgy Show. And we've done a few episodes of the George and Pudgy Show, or a few series of the George and Pudgy Show, which is a lot of fun. But Tom is branching out. And so now he has a couple of other ones. And I believe it's on the same channel, Tom, right? You don't have these on separate channels. It's on the same channel. And so one of them is and these are all like 1940s based shows. They obviously don't take place in the 1940s. They weren't written in the 1940s and everything, but they're basically kind of made to be like a show that might have been produced, a radio show that might have been produced in the 1940s. So in addition to George and Pudgy, there's also Mason Jennings, and Mason Jennings is a detective show, hard-boiled detective show, you know. So that's a lot of fun to do that one. And then the newest one, which we just recently filmed, and I think is already up and available, is Myers Crossing, and Myers Crossing is a Western, and I get to play the town drunk on Myers Crossing. So Tom, put up a link for that, Tom, so that they can check that out when they get a chance. So there's a few episodes. There's a bunch of George and Pudgy episodes up there. There's, I think, maybe one or two episodes or parts. Jennings, I think first Myers Crossing recently. So to Dad being created, not the meatloaf Sammy. Yeah, but still. All right. I finally got this thing open. Crispy ramen snack. We did another crispy ramen snack, which is basically, it looked like they had just taken dry ramen before you cook it, crumbled it up, and put a ramen seasoning packet in it that you poured in there and shake and bag. They don't do this one, of course. This is like, it's already all put together. So there's no seasoning packet and everything. It is what it is. I mean, there we go. It almost looks like chow mein noodles, the fried chow mein noodles. It's kind of what it looks like. The fried chow mein noodles. It's kind of what it looks like. Oh, wow. Nice flavor there. All right, everybody. So Tom put up the link. So that's the Old Guy Radio Players channel. And you can get George and Pudgy episodes, Myers Crossing episodes, and Mason Jennings episodes there. So it's a lot of fun. Hank Hill is here. Welcome, Hank Hill. Welcome, Hank Hill. Bobby, go to your room. Hank, are you in Texas? These are good. They're perfectly seasoned. So it's not like there's powder all over and everything. The seasoning it's kind of like maybe cooked into the noodles. The noodles are light and crispy. It doesn't have the texture of like uncooked ramen. They're not hot. That's not why the fire department's here. It definitely tastes like wheat. Yeah, wheat flour is the main ingredient. So it definitely tastes like a wheat noodle. Really nice texture. Really nice flavor. I guess the only annoying thing about it is how tiny. Look at this. How tiny that is, right? You have to kind of get a bunch of them like that. Almost when you use a spoon, right? But those are pretty good. That's a thumbs up. I like those. Just a perfect amount of seasoning, not too salty. Because the thing is, it's ramen, right? And then if you think about ramen seasoning, how salty ramen seasoning is, the sodium level in ramen seasoning is usually through the roof. And this is not. This is really nice. There's like a soy sauce taste there. Is there soy sauce in here? I'm gonna get a soy sauce taste. Yep, soy sauce. Really nice, a really nice blend of seasoning. So yeah, that's a big thumbs up. I think I got these at Cost Plus World Market. This I got at a little mom and pop Eastern European store. These are from Russia. This is a product of Taiwan from a company that used to be in Japan and now is in Taiwan. All right. I made meatloaf for the stream yesterday, and today was sliced and fried in between two slices. Now, do you fry it in the bread? Like, do you fry it the whole sandwich, or do you fry the meatloaf first and then put it in the sandwich? Because I mean, I'm wondering like how that would be. Did you deep fry that or pan fry that? And what would that be like if you made it like a grilled cheese? You know, I mean, I'm not saying put cheese in it, but just kind of make it like a grilled cheese, like you grill the sandwich. How would that be? Joshua said he just shouted you out, Tom, old guy. All righty. So let's see. Oh, I did want to talk about this one. So are any of you guys on Threads? So we're on Threads. We're on a lot of social media. So in addition to YouTube, obviously, and we're on Facebook, we are on Threads, we are on Blue Sky, we are on Instagram. That's it. We used to be on X, but we got off there as quickly as we could because it's just not a pleasant place anymore. So we're on Threads, and somebody on Threads posted something, and they said, let's see, is Carson Sweezy is the person. And Carson Sweezy posted this thing, is that the best sandwiches in all of America. So again, this is food and travel related, right? So he came up with a list of what he said were the best sandwiches in all of America, and they were all like specific to cities. So he says Philly cheesesteak, Chicago Italian beef, New York City pastrami, Philly roast pork. That one I wasn't familiar with. Nashville hot chicken, everyone's familiar with that. Baltimore pit beef, buffalo beef on weck. That is very specific to Buffalo area, beef on weck. A weck is the type of bread that they use, or the type of roll that they use. New Orleans muffaletta, Miami cubano, North Carolina pork barbecue with slaw. I'm not sure if I've had that as a sandwich, a pork barbecue sandwich. Well, I guess pulled pork sandwich, probably. Yeah. My favorite pulled pork is not from North Carolina. It's actually from Owensboro, Kentucky, like their pulled pork. And Texas torta ahogada. But I don't remember seeing a torta ahogada in Texas, but I haven't spent a lot of time in the border towns, but they probably came from. So I thought it was an interesting list. I would say that he put Philly cheesesteak on the list. I would not say it's hard to say it's a best sandwich, because I don't know if you guys have ever had a Philly cheesesteak. If you go to Philadelphia and you want to get a cheesesteak, most people go to Geno's and Pat's. Geno's and Pat's are like across the street from each other, so they're competitors, but it's kind of like a friendly competition. And those are the big ones. Those are the ones all the tourists who go to Philadelphia go to. They go to Geno's and Pat's. They're not great. They put cheese whiz on it. The meat is like shaved steak. and the onions and stuff that's been on the grill for like an hour or something like that. It's not great. It is a comfort food, right? So if you grew up in Philly, you probably grew up eating those, and it is a comfort food. And when you go back to Philly, that you head there just because it's a comfort food. I wouldn't say they're great. There are better cheesesteak sandwiches in Philly. They didn't specify Geno's and Pat's to give them credit, but there are better cheesesteak places in Philly, like I think it's Jim's. Jim's is really good. Jim's is really good. Nashi's, it is never too late. We still have an hour left, so you are never too late. So Julie, hold that thought, Jules. Yeah, it's fake cheese and steakums. Yes, exactly, Jules. You're exactly right. And so I sent him a list of stuff that I thought was off the list, right? So what was not on the list was the Louisville hot brown. And I know that sounds like something that you don't want to Google, but there's a sandwich from the Brown Hotel. It's named after a person. It's not the color. The Brown Hotel, and they have a sandwich. It's an open-faced sandwich called the Louisville hot brown. It's mustard and I want to say I had one in St. Louis, but it's a really, really good sandwich. So he did not include the Louisville hot brown. He did not include a fluffernutter, which I guess you could call it a Boston fluffernutter. You would call it a Boston fluffernutter because marshmallow fluff. You need marshmallow fluff. You can't use marshmallow cream. So don't use Kraft marshmallow cream when you're making a fluffernutter. It's not going to work. You have to use marshmallow fluff. Fluff is this very, very specific product from a very, very specific company made in, I want to say Lynn, Massachusetts. Jules, is that right? Fluffernutter or fluff? Fluff is made in Lynn, Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to use fluff, marshmallow fluff. It's made in Lynn, Massachusetts. And you want to use a local peanut butter as well. And a really, really good local peanut butter in Boston area is Teddy. Teddy is made in Everett, Massachusetts. Somerville? I didn't think it was Somerville, Somerville. I better start, getting start dropping my R's now, my I's. Got to stop dropping my I's. All right. So a Boston fluffernutter that was not on the list. I put down New Orleans muffaletta, but then I saw afterwards that he actually did include the New Orleans muffaletta. A Portland Italian sub. And I say Portland, Maine, because that's where the Italian sub was invented. Although I would, you see, and Jules and I are think alike on there. Although I would say that the Portland Italian sub is a lot different than what we think of when we think of like an East Coast or a Boston area Italian sub. So it's changed over the more than a century. 1902 was when it was invented. The Italian sub was invented in Portland, Maine, by Giovanni Amato. And Julie and I, if you find the Julie and I did a Portland road trip. We went to Portland, Maine, and we went to Amato's, which is the sandwich place that invented the Italian sub. When we got an Italian sub, the thing that we learned when we went there was the original Italian sub didn't have Italian cold cuts on it. It was called an Italian sub because Amato was from Italy, and he was selling these sandwiches off of a cart, and he was calling them Italian subs because he was Italian, not because it was. So the original ones were ham and cheese. They were ham and cheese subs, and I was calling them Italian subs. But the whole thing about the what was on it was the start of what was on it. So if you go to Amato's now, you can get the original or the classic. So the original is going to be the ham and cheese one, the original one that Amato created, and then the classic is what we now know in New England as an Italian sub. So it's going to be Italian cold cuts, provolone cheese, and then chopped up pickles, onions, tomato, oregano, oil, vinegar, salt, pepper, and occasionally hots, which is chopped up hot peppers on top of it. So I definitely think the Portland Italian sub belonged on that list, so I suggested it. Salem chopped suey sandwich. It's not like an amazing sandwich. It's not just an incredible sandwich. It's just this unique sandwich that's unique to Salem, Massachusetts, the chopped suey sandwich. We did an episode of that as well. Jules and I, it was, I think I want to say it was a Halloween episode. We did a Salem, Massachusetts Halloween episode, and we got one of those chop suey sandwiches at Salem Willows. It was from Salem Low. Salem Low closed a few years ago, but then it got bought and reopened. So now it is open once again. So if you ever want to try a chop suey sandwich in Salem, Massachusetts, go to Salem Willows, go to Salem Lows, and you can get yourself a chop suey sandwich. There's some other unique sandwiches to the Boston area or New England. I would say the greater Boston area. There's a lot of unique sandwiches that you can only find there. I would say like the hot cheese sandwich that they have in Fall River. That's unique. The chicken barb sandwich that they have in Merrimack Valley. So the cities in the Merrimack Valley, the chicken barb sandwich. And also in Fall River, they have a chow mein sandwich. There's a chow mein sandwich in Fall River. So the Boston area and in Massachusetts in general has a lot of unusual and unique sandwiches that like a lot of people have not heard of. The Pittsburgh Primanti Brothers sandwich, and I call it Primanti Brothers sandwich because it's really not there's not a name for it other than it's a sandwich that the Primanti brothers sell. So in Pittsburgh was a steel town, so they had a lot of steel workers. They had a lot of steel mills just until I want to say maybe the 80s. They all started closing down, and what would happen is at lunch, they would all take a lunch break at the same time. And a lot of these guys would go to get a sandwich and they would go to Primanti Brothers. And they didn't have a lot of time. So they would say, just throw it on the sandwich, just throw it on the sandwich. So you go in there, you get a Primanti Brothers sandwich, typically has coleslaw on it. It has French fries on it. It has whatever would be your side dishes and everything. And they just pile that all inside the sandwich itself. So if you've ever been to Pittsburgh, you got to go to Primanti Brothers and get yourself a Primanti Brothers sandwich. So I don't know why he left that off the list either. And then, of course, from Los Angeles, the French dip sandwich, which was invented here either by Coles or by Philippe, the original, depending on which story you're willing to believe. I kind of go with the guy with the French name, but that's just me. They're both made on French rolls, so it's hard to say. But the French dip, which is unique to Los Angeles, that was not on the list. And then a couple of other ones that I thought about afterwards is the steak bomb, which I think is a Boston. It's a steak sub, but it's steak and peppers and some other stuff. They call it a steak bomb. It's not like a cheese steak. They also have like a steak and cheese, which is not like a cheese steak. It's a little bit different. But a steak bomb and a Spidey. I think it's Spidey. I think it's pronounced as Spidey, Spiede, from Binghamton, New York. Very, very specific sandwich in Binghamton, New York, called a Spidey. Roast beef. Oh, like how could I forget that? How could I forget a North Shore beef? Absolutely right, Jules. A North Shore. Yes, Miguel, you are correct. If you're talking about a sub, you're talking about like out here in Los Angeles. There's an Italian deli called Bay Cities, and they make the sandwich called the Godmother, and people swear by it. Oh my God, this is the best Italian sub. It's so legit an Italian sub. And like, there's lettuce on it, dude. You don't put lettuce on it. In Burbank, California, there is a place called Santoro's. Now, Santoro's was started by the same Santoro family that has sub shops in the Boston area. So they basically took that whole concept for Boston area subs and they brought it here to LA, which is why nobody goes there. But if you are a Mass Hold or Boston transplant and you want an authentic New England sub, that's where you go. You go to Santoro's in Burbank. So I took Matt Zion from Reckless Eating there. And I introduced him to an East Coast Italian sub, and so he says, "Can I get some lettuce on it?" And they kind of laughed at him. They go, "No, we don't have lettuce. They don't have lettuce in the store. You can't nothing has lettuce on it. So they don't even have lettuce in the store." So I thought that was pretty funny. So you're absolutely right, Miguel. No lettuce. You need a good North Shore Italian on Piantadosi roll. So that's another thing is that some of these sandwiches are they're specific to the kind of bread that you put in it. I think like an Italian beef sandwich. Chicago Italian beef sandwich is on a very specific kind of bread, and most Italian subs or New England subs are on Piantadosi bread. And Piantadosi is a really popular bread company, and believe they're from Malden, Massachusetts, and they ship all over the country. You see lettuce on someone's Italian sub, you slap that sub out of their hand. Nobody needs that kind of negativity in their life. Right. And you're not talking about the negativity of you slapping it out of their hand. You're talking about the negativity of them eating an Italian sub with lettuce on it. Have a policy of not gatekeeping food. Let people live and be happy. Yeah. But for authenticity, Nashies, every once in a while, you want something that's authentic. You want to kind of go like if you want an authentic cheesesteak, an authentic Philly cheesesteak, you're not going to use Wagyu beef in an authentic Philly cheesesteak. You're going to use like a cheap cut of beef that's kind of chopped up. You're not going to use, like Munster cheese or something. You're going to use Cheese Whiz. That's what you're going to use because that's what that's traditional. So the thing is I think if people want to change it up and everything, that's fine. But I think if you want to talk about iconic sandwiches and everything, that you should at least try it, at least the original way, or even from the original vendor, if you get a chance to do that. So that's what I think. You totally have to try authentic. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You have to try authentic. And then, I would say that as far as the way I cook, my mom, who is Italian, but also learned how to cook like Mexican food from her sister-in-law, yeah, and mother-in-law. I learned from my mom how to cook, but I also didn't do it exactly the way my mom did. So like I would change it up. I would do some different stuff, and I think you should. But go with the original first. Always go with the original first, and then you know what you're comparing it to, right? So like when somebody says this is the best burger in the country, it's like, well, really? Have you been to all the burger things? That's always another good travel thing is like, where would you travel to get the best burger? Because a lot of these burger places are not not across the country. We're not even talking about the country. We're talking about the world. With the exception of like McDonald's or something. I will roundhouse kick a fluffinata that had marshmallow cream instead of fluff on it. Yep. You gotta. The thing is, if they've made a fluffinata before, they've used marshmallow fluff and everything, but they just find marshmallow cream better. They like it better, and more power to them. But you can try for the first time. Always go with the authentic for the first time. All right. Let's see. How many snacks did we do? We did 2 snacks. Let's do another snack. What have we got in the list here? Buckwheat crisp bread. I don't think it was buckwheat. Okay. All right. Just doing my housekeeping here. Housekeeping. Oh, we did that. I'm missing something. Oh, that's what it is. The crisp bread. Don't mind me. I know you don't. All right. Let's do these next. These are from Unique Snacks. They're typically very good. I haven't seen this one before. We're going to try this one today. This is Unique Snacks, established 1921, original sourdough craft beer rings. So it's not a pretzel shape, it's a ring shape, but these are, I would definitely say those are Unique Snacks. Dyer's Burgers in Memphis, Tennessee is on my bucket list. What is the thing about Dyer's though? What is their legend? As I know, there's a place. I want to say it's in St. Louis. I'm not sure, but there's a place that they have been making deep fried burgers, but they make it in the same oil they've been using since like 1912, and I can't remember the name of the place. So there's that. What usually is on. Don't put one of those pretzels on your finger. It might do. It might. So it might be the same place. Tom, is that Dyer's Burger is the place that deep fry the burgers in the same oil they've been using since like 1912? Is that the same place as Dyer's Burgers? So if you have a burger bucket list, I would say that's Dyer's. Okay, I didn't remember the name of the place. I just remember they're famous for that particular reason. that you're getting it deep fried in over 100-year-old oil. So other legendary burger places to visit, I would say, I don't know where the first White Castle is, but White Castle is was the first fast food burger. So 1925, I want to say 1925. So they beat McDonald's and all those other burger places. I don't know if the original White Castle is still open or not. Definitely, that should be on a burger bucket list. Is Lewis's Lunch in New Haven, Connecticut. Julie and I have been to Lewis's Lunch in New Haven, Connecticut. We have an episode at Lewis's Lunch, and Lewis's Lunch still make burgers the same way. Now they're credited with being the inventor of the hamburger, and it's like the hamburger as a sandwich. Obviously people were eating ground beef way before that, but they're credited with being the inventor of the hamburger as a sandwich. And I would disagree with that. I think there were people that were probably doing it before they did it, but they're not around anymore, right? So they have longevity. I think there was some ads that were showing some other places that were making it earlier. I want to say it was 1905 when they first opened. So they have these gas grills, these vertical gas grills, and they take the burger, they season it, they put it in a wire rack, and they slide it in sideways into this vertical gas grill. Same gas grill that they've been using for over 100 years. And then they put it on white bread toasted, and they use one of those old electric chair kind of conveyor belt toasters. So basically, you put the toast on it, takes it up in the conveyor belt, toast it, drops it down at the bottom. Now, if you want something on it, you have 3 choices. You can have a slice of onion, slice of tomato, or a cheddar cheese spread, but that's it. They don't have anything else. You can't get mustard, you can't get mayo, you can't get lettuce, you can't get nothing else. The only thing you can get on it, and that's it, if you want it, you ask for it, is you can get the cheddar cheese spread, slice of tomato, or a slice of onion. That's it. And I've eaten there a couple of times, and we did one episode there, and I would say that's a life-changing burger right there. It is a life-changing burger. They had all that time to get it right. They're making it in a unique way in a gas grill where it's vertical. It's just an amazing sandwich. So there's a video out there, so somebody can try. Break time is over. Need to get back to work. Well, all right. Thank you, Tom. And I will have a safe trip, and then we'll talk to you on the other side. So we'll still be doing a bunch of stuff together. We're just in a location. Have you tried Iowa loose meat sandwich? I have not. I'm not sure I'm even familiar with that. The funny thing about Iowa is we did do something from Iowa. We did the Iowa pickle wraps. We did that with the Trips from Canada. So we made them. We did a collaboration with them. We made them together. Iowa pickle wraps, and those are really originally. So yeah, a lot of those states, especially in the middle of the country, and even into the South and everything, they do some really unusual and strange stuff. All right, let's see. We didn't even try one of these. We opened, packaged it. We didn't try it. So again, it is craft beer flavored sourdough rings. Canadian? Is mac and cheese loaf Canadian, Jules? So here's the thing. So Jules and I, KM, who make a lot of different lunch meats, Julie and I went to visit their factory. The factory is in Chelsea, Massachusetts, because they have a product called mac and cheese loaf, and we went to get that, and you can't get it there. So they say we have to go to Demoulas or someplace like that. But all Demoulas, they still make it. You just can't find it anywhere. So maybe that's why we couldn't find it, Jules, because they have it in Canada and not here. I like these because they're if you've ever had the Snyder's hard sourdough pretzels, they're teeth breaking hard. I mean, really, really hard. They're are you eating rocks hard? They're that hard. So you have that. And then you go down the scale and everything. You got rolled gold and dots and stuff like that. You go down that scale, and then you get to like the soft pretzels, like Aunt Annie's or whatever that place is at the mall. The big soft pretzels. This is somewhere delightfully in between. So it's not as light as like a rolled gold or something like that, but it's not as hard and crunchy as the Snyder's sourdough. Really nice taste. I'm not getting beer. I'm not getting craft beer. There's like a little bit of yeast, like a breathiness to it, but not anything that really reminds me of beer. Nice flavor. Not overly salted. I'm gonna give them thumbs in the middle. They're really good. I really like this. I will end up eating this whole bag. But the thing is, it says in huge letters craft beer, and either my palate is not refined enough to be able to taste the craft beer in there, or they just don't use enough of it to give it that flavor. Why am I all out of focus? Hopefully that will fix itself. Maybe not. Jules, oh, there we go. All right. Citizen Pained, like Citizen Kane. From T to T. Let's see. What did I miss here? Did I miss anything? Jules, we are still going to find that mac and cheese loaf sandwich if it's the last thing I ever do. And it might be. It might actually be the last thing I ever do. Your camera took the beer. I think that's what it was. Citizen, I can't say that I recall you being on the stream before. But again, I'm old and I'm forgetful. So so either remind me that you've been on here before and I just forgot, or let me know like where you're from, closest metropolitan area is fine, and what brings you to the channel. Or if you've been to the channel before and I just forgot. Why? I turned that on low a while ago and it just went off. So I'm going to turn it back on again. There we go. I just need some air moving around in here. Either way, welcome, citizen. Let's see. How many snacks was that? Was that 3? That was 1, 2, 3. That was 3. Okay. So we got 1 left. This one's going to be interesting because I have no idea what this is. Okay, so this is from Geier's, Geier's, Geier's Sausage Kitchen, and this is Brown Bratwurst Farmer Sausage. All right. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it is. I think it's pork. Yep, pork ingredients: pork skins, water, milk protein hydrolysate, whatever that is, salt, natural spices, dextrose, sodium nitrate. Dextrose is a sugar. I don't know why they do that. Well-trimmed pork and coarsely ground beef. Well, it says coarsely ground beef, but there's no beef in the ingredients. It says pork, pork skins, water, milk. I don't see beef. Unless they're considering milk beef. Coarsely ground beef mixed with natural spices. All right, whatever. So again, this doesn't have a pop top, so we have to get Optimus Prime to get that open. Dextrose is really common in German foods. Yeah, I don't know what it's. I guess it's a natural sugar, but I'm not completely sure, like where dextrose comes from. Is that like something? Maybe comes from corn or something? Do you know, Nashies? Get yourself one. I mean, if you do not have a manual can opener, get yourself one, because if the power goes out, you're not going to go hungry. And again, we are using plastic utensils because the other ones are either packed away or, I wonder if you have to heat this up because you have that gelatinized fat and other things in there. And it kind of looks like cat food. I would tip it further, but there's juices in there and I don't want it to go all over the place. I don't know if you can you guys see that? It's like a cross. It looks like a cross between Spam and cat food. Now I assume it's ready to eat. You don't have to heat it up or anything. I don't refrigerate after opening. Well, that's going to be a problem because I don't have a refrigerator anymore. This is from Geyer's Sausage Kitchen in Sarasota, Florida. Let's see, do I have info on that? I do. Geyer's Sausage Kitchen was founded in 1981 by Carl and Giza Geyer in Sarasota, Florida. All right. It doesn't, I don't see anything that says ready. Oh, slice and serve. All right. Well, let's do that. Let's slice it and serve it. Schmearwurst. Is that what they call that? Schmearwurst? This says Brown bratwurst. Brown bratwurst. It doesn't look like bratwurst because bratwurst is kind of pale, and this is not pale. This is kind of like almost like a salmon pink color. It really does look like cat food. I don't have a plate. I should have had a plate. Hang on, I'm going to get a plate. Plate. Obviously, you want some of our fancy china. All right. Did I miss anything? Like quick replenish of blood sugar, hydration, and energy for athletes. What? Jules, what? What am I missing? I'm missing something there, guys. Is that a cultural reference that I don't get? So Nashies, I'm a little bit curious because I know that you're in Vegas now, right? But like, and maybe this is a good question for everybody. So, in general, like, how many times have you moved around, or like let's say how many different states have you lived in? So, like, the funny thing about Julie is Julie has lived in Massachusetts her entire life. Now, Julie's sibling, Allie, has lived in, I think, I'm going to say like 6 different states. I've lived in 5 different states. So I have lived in Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Texas, Oregon, and California. But most people, I don't think most people really have lived in a lot of different states and everything. So like you guys, how many of you have like really lived in different states of like, drastic? I'm not talking about like, you grew up in Portland, Oregon, and you moved to Vancouver, Washington, which is across the river. Not something like that, but like a big move from one state to another. How many of you guys have lived in different states? And if you've lived in different states, which ones? So that's a good point of discussion. How am I going to get this out without making a mess? I can't. I'm going to make a mess. I'm just going to have to resign myself to the fact that I'm going to make a mess. I don't know what to make of this. It's like, in some ways, it kind of looks like meatloaf, and it kind of looks like Spam, and it kind of looks like cat food. It is weird. There we go. Grew up in Nevada, moved to Alabama, but I thought you lived in Nevada now. I thought you lived in like the Vegas area. Are you in Alabama now, or are you in Nevada now? New to channel, not to you, the old. Oh my God, Octotape, yeah, holy crap. Wow, so you're from Panic Press, or you worked at Panic Press. So Panic Press was my first technical job, which was right out of high school. And hold that thought, Citizen Payne, because that plays a very crucial part in our discussion, especially about travel. So I think it's going to be a very important part about travel. I hated Alabama. Well, it's a completely different culture from Nevada to Alabama. Like, I would say that the states that I lived in some ways, the culture was different. Like Boston culture is very European, it's really European culture. Pennsylvania, especially like Pittsburgh and everything, it's kind of a Midwestern thing. It's like a generic American environment. Texas is like another country. It was another country, but it's like another country. California is like California, it's like, it's just like, it's so California. And then Oregon is just like really laid back, kind of hippie stoner kind of place. So very, very different places I've lived in. It's beautiful there, but not my vibe. Yeah, I've been to all 50 states. I visited all 50 states. I have not lived in all 50. I only lived in 5. But let's see. I had a girlfriend who her family was from Alabama. They were from Hamilton, Alabama, which is very rural Alabama. And every year at Mother's Day, they used to have a family reunion, and I would go to this family reunion in Hamilton, Alabama. Now, the one, and it's in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing to do out there. But the one thing that I found really cool is that was where I got my my experience with poke salad. So if you're familiar with poke salad, it's sometimes spelled salad like SALAD, but it's mostly SALAT is the correct way to spell it. Poke salad is made with poke weed. And pokeweed is a weed. It's a wild plant, and the animals don't even eat it because it's really, really toxic. So the only time animals will eat it if they're starving to death. You can only eat the green leaves. You can't eat any of the bigger leaves. You can't eat the stem. You can't eat the fruit. You can't eat no other part of it, just the leaves. And when you do cook it, somebody has to know how to make it. And apparently, her aunts from Alabama knew how to make it. So it's like boil, rinse, boil, rinse, boil, rinse. You put it in a pan, put with some bacon, to make the grease and everything. Throw some eggs in there and throw some onion in there and everything. And it's like spinach with a bite. But it was a really, really, really unique experience that I could only get by visiting Alabama. Lived in one state my whole life, Rhode Island. And the funny thing is living in Rhode Island is not a big deal as far as travel goes because it's just a short drive. If you want to go to Connecticut, if you want to go to Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, like New England is so close. It's like an hour, 2 at the most, to go from any one point in New England to any other one point in New England. It's like 2 hours max. Let's see. Lived in Texas all my life, 32 years. Miguel, correct me if I'm wrong, you are somewhere like you're south of Austin, right? I'm going to say New Braunfels, like that area. Did I get that right? You're like in the New Braunfels area. One of my siblings lived in Woonsocket for a while, and so I was down there quite a bit. Oh, that's right. My dad's family's from Alabama. Oh, my mom was from Germany. Okay. There once was a man from Nantucket. No, never mind. Poke salad, Annie. Yeah, that's the same thing. Poke salad. So I was going to say, has anybody ever had that? It's highly unlikely that any of you had that unless you've been to like the rural South. And that's about the only place you're ever going to have it. And you're going to have somebody who, it's nothing you're going to buy in a restaurant. It's something you're going to buy from a farm, from a roadside stand or anything. You just have to know somebody who knows how to make it. And that's the only way you're going to have it. Yeah, it was, it's SALET, I think, is an alternate spelling of that, citizen. So let me eat this. I cut this. Let me eat this. This is an odd thing. Almost tastes like meatloaf with a little bit of sourness to it. Yeah, there's kind of like a meatloaf taste to that. Although most meatloaf is beef, I think. There's a slightly sour flavor to it. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's like the milk protein. Like, like as the milk protein sours, maybe. Natural spices. God only knows what that is. This is a really odd thing. So the question is like, how would you, there's no serving suggestion. They just show slices of it. Maybe you put it on bread. Maybe you make it like a sandwich and everything. As you eat it, you get more of the saltiness in it. Yeah, it's almost like meatball. I'm getting like a meatball flavor from it. Now, I like that because it's unique and different, but I can see where other people might not like this. But I do like it. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I don't know what to make of it. I've never had anything like this before. It's just like really, really odd. I saw bratwurst on it, and I think it was like sausage. It's nothing like a sausage. It's just a really odd thing. And that's what we're all about here at Trippy Food, is odd things like us. All right, let me go back to Citizen Payne. So Citizen Payne's identity will remain a mystery, although my association with Citizen Payne is not a mystery, because they did mention, where was that? Let's see. How did he say that? Or they say that, because I don't even know now. Citizen Payne said the old Dick days, and they meant Pandic Press. So Pandic Press was one of the first, it was the first company I worked for out of high school. So I graduated high school, and I tried to find a job that I knew how to do. So it was like right out of high school. I didn't go to college or anything else like that. Just right out of high school, trying to find something I could do. So I applied for a job as a messenger at Pandic Press, which was in downtown Boston. And so when I went to get hired for the job, they said, "Well, how well do you know Boston?" I go, "I know Boston like the back of my hand." They said, "Okay, when can you start?" I go, "I can start tomorrow if you want." I'm like, "Okay, come in tomorrow." So they hand me a package. They go, "Take this over to 294 Washington Street." I'm like, "Yes, sir." And I'd run out the front door, and the first person I saw, I was like, "How do I get to Washington Street?" Anyways, eventually, I did find my way around without that. But occasionally they had like large, big boxes of printed materials that had to go to the SEC and stuff like that. I mean, really, big, important financial documents, because they were a financial printer, financial documents. And so there used to be a shuttle. And when I say shuttle, I don't mean like the space shuttle. There used to be a shuttle. Eastern Airlines used to have a shuttle, and it used to go hourly between Boston Logan Airport and New York. I want to say LaGuardia. Could be LaGuardia. I mean, it might be JFK. I'm not sure. I don't remember which one exactly it was. But there was an hour every hour, the shuttle between Boston and New York. And so occasionally when they had, like, let's say they had 8 boxes of stuff, they go, "Okay, we want you to fly to New York, where the guy from our New York office is going to pick this stuff up. And this is going to be your luggage. So just check in these boxes. When you get to the airport, he'll meet you there. He'll pick up the boxes and everything, and then you can just get the next flight back." So I brought the boxes, and then the guy that picked me up says, "You been to New York before?" And I go, "Yeah, maybe just through it or something, but not that I remember any of it or anything." He says, "You know what? You got time, because these shuttles are hourly. Why don't we go to LaGuardia?" Thank you. "Why don't we go to the place that has the best pizza you'll ever have in your life?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure." So he took me to what was the name of it? Ray's, it was original Ray's, I guess, original Ray's Pizza. And this was on 6th Ave and 12th. And he said, "This is the best pizza you'll ever have." So go in there, and he says, "Get a slice of Famous Ray's." So get a slice of Famous Ray's, and basically what it is, it's all the toppings on there. And there's some crazy toppings on there. There's like broccoli and stuff like that. And then they put the cheese on top of it, and it melts into the toppings and everything. And this one slice of pizza is like this huge slice of pizza. And it was just amazing. And up to that point, it was the best pizza I had in my life up to that point. But it kind of kicked off this thing with me about like going different places and trying different things. I was like, "Oh my God, there's magic out there," right? And so the whole time I was there, I was working in the computer room and everything, and that was my first big thing into travel. Now then I worked for another company called Tegra Verityper, and I started working for them as a field support trainer, repair guy for their product line. And so that job entailed travel. So I traveled all over the U.S. and Canada. And for me, it was just such an eye-opening experience. It was just, for me, it was amazing, because anytime I would go to a place that I haven't been before, and remember, up to this point, where had I been? I'd been to Pennsylvania, I'd been to New York, sort of, and I'd been to Boston. Where had I been besides that? Not too many places. So this just kind of opened up my eyes. And the thing is like travel around the United States is like traveling to other countries. It's like the culture in Texas is completely different than the culture in Massachusetts, which is completely different than the culture in California. It's just so different. And this job afforded me the ability to find that, to experience all that. And I think it was very rich and rewarding for me. I would work with somebody in some place, and the first thing I would ask them is, what is the one thing I can see in this city that I can't see anywhere else? And what is the one thing I can eat here that I can't eat anywhere else? And that's basically how I did on my travel. I remember, so remember, I was living in Massachusetts when I had this job, and there was I had to do some work in Kearney Mesa, which is in San Diego, and it was at General Dynamics, I think. Very. You can't look at this, you can't look at that. You have to walk through this gate. You can't let you see this. We can't let you see this. All this other stuff. That's fine. That's all fine. So just as I was about to leave, I said to the guy, I said, "Hey, you guys are like 20-something miles from the Mexican border. You have to have good Mexican food here, right?" And he says, "Yeah." He says, when you leave the office, so leave the plant, take a left, go up to your second set of lights, go up, take a right, and then just right there on the right-hand side, you'll see this place called Taco Bell. And I stopped for a second, and I thought he was joking. I thought he was just like fooling around with me. And I'm like, "Taco Bell." He says, "Yeah." And I said, "I don't mean any disrespect, but I live in Bedford, Massachusetts, and there's a Taco Bell up the street from my house." And he says, "Well, yeah, it's fast food and everything, but it's really good." And I'm like, I was just looking for something maybe a little bit more local and authentic. And he says, "Well, you'll have to ask for somebody else. I don't really know." So he sent me into Old Town, and I checked out a couple of the restaurants in Old Town. I managed to find something. So. Oh, Ice Hand is here. Welcome, Ice Hand. Hello. What gave you the burps? Did something give me the burps, or are you saying what like is there something that I eat that gives me the burps? Or are we talking to somebody else? Nashies, I got confused with that. Maybe I missed something, I think. Yeah, the thing is like travel jobs. I know a lot of people don't like travel jobs, but I loved having a travel job because I loved that it just exposed me to people all over the place. It was amazing for me. I would do it all over again, take a travel job. Absolutely. So, all right. We did 4 snacks. Let's do our soft drink. And this, I did rate that, right? I did rate that a thumbs up. And again, it's not going to be for everybody. The texture is kind of weird. It's like cold meatloaf, sort of. And it's a little bit greasy, but for me, I like it, and I'm going to give it a thumbs up. All right. So this is Coco Rico coconut soda, which is something you don't see every day as a coconut soda. This is a product of Puerto Rico. The Coco Rico brand was founded by Luis and Ana Fuertes in Puerto Rico in 1934. So this is a product of Puerto Rico. Are you driving to Boston or flying? Flying. It would be nice to drive, but it would just take too long to drive, especially me, because if I was driving, I would be stopping everywhere. So it would take me like 3 weeks to get there. So, and I have to start. I fly in. I work on Monday, tomorrow. I fly Tuesday, and then I start work again because I work remotely, and I start work again on Wednesday. So that would be impossible to do driving. But I would love to have done that though. I'm going to rinse this out again. Remember, everything's packed up, so I only have 1 glass. So I'm going to kind of rinse this out because it has some of that delicious beer in it. And we're going to try our Coco Rico. You usually see it perfectly. Well, I guess Sprite is kind of clear. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, just it was weird. It's the end of an era in LA. Yeah, well, I mean, we have family here, so we will be back. We will be visiting again. I have family here, cousins and stuff, and a brother. One of my brothers lives here, so we'll be back to visit. But the end of an era living in here. I moved to Southern California in 2003, and so from 2003 to tomorrow, I'll have been here. That will be 22 years, but you can shave 4 years off of that because from 2015 to 2019, I lived in Portland, Oregon. So, 4 years away, but total about 18 years. And that's a long time. I think the longest I lived anywhere was in Massachusetts. I lived in Massachusetts for 26 years, the 26 years in Massachusetts. I lived 13 in Texas and 6 in Pennsylvania. I like this, but it's weird. It's just weird because it's coconut. It's the flavor of coconut. It tastes like a fresh there's that fresh coconut flavor. It's just really good, fresh coconut flavor. It just tastes weird as a soda. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know what to make of that. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I'm a big thumbs up just because it's weird. It's just weird. It's coconut. It's sweet. And it's soda. It's weird. Sorry. Well, that's a lot of years. You're as old as hex. I am old as hex, Jules. However, me being old as hex and you be 20 years younger than me, you might want to, not throw that around a lot. Being where you have been in LA, you may have met my brother at some point. I won't dox for privacy, but I have to message you and see. LA is a big city, right? I mean, it's one of the most populous cities in the United States, but we'll give it a shot. It's possible. Yeah, definitely do that. All right. I'm going to do this because that's how we roll. I am feeling it's not going to be that bad. Look, I turned water into wine. It went from clear to beer colored. I wonder how that happened. Oh, that's weirder. But it works. It works. I wonder how that would be like with a chocolate stout or something that has that coffee or chocolate notes, cinnamon, vanilla notes like that, how that would work with a coconut. That'll probably work really well. How is Doodle handling how to leave all his friends at obedience school, especially before the end? Obedience school? Yeah, he needs obedience school, but he has not. Sadly, Doodle's boyfriend lives here, so he's going to miss his boyfriend. But it is what it is. He's going to have to come back and visit. Are both of you lying, Nashies, or just Jules? That's pretty good. It's probably one of the better soda and beer blends that we've done. The flavors together. The coconut, it really complements this beer. Again, I think like a porter or a stout or even a sweeter beer and everything, it would go really nice with that, I think. So that's really good. But his boyfriend is not going to miss him and his forwardness. Well, the thing is, Andy likes Doodle. They're pals. They get along really well. And Andy kind of tolerates Doodle. But he kind of lets him know when he's like pushing the line, when he's going like a little bit too far. No, Andy will go like, like let Doodle know. No, we're not doing that here, Doodle. Yes, for those who don't know, Doodle is gay, and I don't say that meaning like just saying that. Well, he's he's attracted to a male dog or something that makes him gay. It's like he has no interest in female dogs whatsoever, but he has a very amorous interest in Andy, I guess would be his cousin. So yeah, that's how he rolls. Are you going to miss Matt? Yes, of course, Miguel. But I will visit Matt when I come back. And again, I said we have family here. We are going to be back, and when I come back, and I'm making a point to get together with family and friends like Matt. A lesbian couple of cats. So the two of them were like a couple together. Yeah. I'm off to Knott's for the Boysenberry Festival. Safe journey. Well, Janice, thank you very much. Always good to have you here. You have unbroken your streak. And we'll see you from what is now called Trippy Food East, and will soon be called Trippy Food. So thank you, Janice. The thing about Matt, though, Miguel, is that we used to get together a lot more when he lived closer, but now he's up in the mountains. But he's like 2 hours away. And so we don't get together. We haven't got together as much. When we just did the We Go Maine show that we just did, we went to Pasadena and Burbank and Glendale. When we just did that one, we've been planning that one for like months. So we were supposed to have done it like 4, maybe almost 5 months ago. And it just like we couldn't make it happen. So either something happened on his end or something happened on my end because we're 2 hours away and we couldn't make it happen. So it had been a long time since I had seen Matt when we just got together to film again recently. So I might actually see him more when I come back because we have more of a reason when I'm back to visit of getting together to see him. All right, so that's actually a really good soda. I'm kind of surprised. Never tried that one again. Coco Rico. All right. Let's see. We talked about sandwiches. We talked about. We're talking about travel. Let's see. What's next on the list here? We did the Geyer sausage. We did the Coco Rico. Next is. Oh, this one's going to be interesting. I think. We're doing heading. That's just a heading. Not anything quite large. This is from Brivais Vilnis. I'm not sure how to say that. Brivais Vilnis. It is a product of Latvia. It is a fisherman's collective. The fisherman's collective Brivais Vilnis was founded in Salagriva, Latvia in 1949. And so this is herring in tomato sauce produced from wild caught fish. You just picture wild caught fish sitting in a producer's chair going like, no, not like that. I heard he's been mistaken for Bigfoot. Matt's tall. Matt is tall. You've seen him in videos. Like he's like up here. He's tall. And when Claudia's standing next to Matt, she looks like she's in the Lollipop Guild. Am I going to need the can opener for this? This has a thingy, but it's really difficult. So let's talk about continents. How many continents have you guys been to besides the one you live in? And I don't see any of our Europeans in the room. I don't see Greg of Tomorrow here, who's from Australia, which is considered a continent, although essentially it's an island, but it is considered a continent. Asia and Europe, I don't get why those are two separate continents because it's one single landmass. But, what do I know? So those who may not have passed geography, the continents would be North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. Those are the continents. So how many continents have you been to, or what other continents have you been to? For me, besides North America and all of North America. So, well, I can't say all of North America. They call it Central America, but it's part of North America. So anything from Mexico to South America is considered Central America. So that would include like El Salvador, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, all those countries. Of those, I've only been through Panama, but I haven't actually been in any of those. But I've been in Mexico a bunch of times. So for me, the continents I've been to, North America, South America, and Europe. I've not been to any other ones. On my bucket list is Asia, and particularly Southeast Asia. I would love to go to Southeast Asia, even Korea, China, Japan, Vietnam, Cambodia, even the Philippines, like the Micronesia, the Pacific Islands, and everything. That would be like one of my, if I'm going to do another continent. I forgot one continent, and this one is definitely on my bucket list of some places I want to visit, is Antarctica. And some people call me crazy for wanting to visit Antarctica. It's just like, what is there? It's that seals, penguins, and ice, right? But to me, it's just kind of like, it's like, to me, it's like the closest thing of visiting another planet without leaving Earth. I mean, honestly, it's just this environment that kind of like screams out that people don't belong here. But it's like one of those things where I just have this curiosity about visiting this place. So that is really my biggest bucket list item, is to visit Antarctica. But Africa at some point in time, yeah, would love to visit Africa, but it's not really high on my bucket list. And Australia would be fun too, but again, they're not my big ones. My big ones, Southeast Asia, would love to go to. India, love to visit India, which is I guess is part of Asia. India, Southeast Asia, and Antarctica. That's for me. But what about you guys? So I said you've been to Europe and Japan. So Japan being part of Asia, so that's good. And obviously being in the U.S., North America. So you have three: Europe, North America, and Asia. Let's see. Visiting Antarctica would be cool. Yeah, I think so. Coco Rico should be a staple in every bunker's bar. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. It's really good. I was surprised. I was also surprised I never tried it. All right, here we go. You can smell it. It smells like herring. Now, typically herring, like I'm used to like Scandinavian herring, which is usually in like a light sauce. Maybe it's a little bit sweet sauce or cream sauce with dill. So having herring in like a tomato sauce is just a little bit weird, but we're going to try this. That sauce kind of covers up the herring. And once you bite into it, it's not so much the taste as the smell. I'm getting the smell from the herring in my mouth. So it's either going up the back or coming up the front, everything. But more so than the smell from in the can itself, I'm kind of getting that smell of the herring. It's a very, very strong smell. If you don't like the smell of fish, you will hate this. As for me, smells are kind of an odd thing for me. I'm trying to think if there's any smell that aside from like biological human smells, other smells that like some people don't like the smell of weed, marijuana, right? Some people don't like that smell, and they say it smells like skunk. I'm like, I don't think it smells like skunk. It doesn't bother me. It's kind of an interesting smell, but the reason I say it doesn't smell like skunk is because I always find skunk as an interesting smell as well. Now, I don't want to get sprayed by one. I don't want to be in very, very close proximity of a skunk that sprays. But still, that smell, it's like, it's not, to me, it's not a bad smell. It's just a really unusual smell. And it's like one of those things like, yeah, it's a skunk. You know, it's a very kind of a curious smell. Sort of like durian. Durian's another thing like that. Like Claudia thinks when I eat durian, I ate some durian wafers the other day, and she goes, do you think you're the only one that lives here? She does not like the smell of durian. To me, the smell of durian doesn't bother me. It's just a very interesting and unique smell. I can smell it, and I can recognize the fact that some people aren't going to like that smell, but to me, it doesn't bother me at all. Only North America and Europe. That's right, because you have been to London. Did you go to anywhere else besides England, Jules, when you went to Europe? Have you been anywhere besides England? Been to all lower and some of the middle states. Yeah, I've been to all 50. Chloe loves sardines out of the can. She would love these. Yeah, these are really good. We'll find these when I come up, Jules. We'll find these. I think if we can find an Eastern European grocery or something, we'll be able to find these up there. These are good. It's a thumbs up for me. I'm going to say thumbs up, trending downward. Not for me personally, but just because I think a lot of people aren't going to like this, even though I do. So, if I'm being honest, I'm going to say, you know, it's not going to be a lot of people's favorite. So I'm going to say, I'll say thumbs in the middle. I'll say a thumbs in the middle. I like it. For me personally, it's a thumbs up. I can see for other people it would not be a thumbs up. So I'm going to go in the middle. Some people are going to hate it. I'm going to go in the middle on that. I know people who like the wafted smell of skunk. Yeah, I don't mind the smell at all. It's a very curious smell. Like I'll be sitting on no, I think there's a skunk there. You know, I smell a skunk. but to me, it's an interesting smell. It's not an offensive smell. It's an interesting smell. And like I said, I don't want to get sprayed by it or anything. But by the way, Citizen Pain, you have piqued my curiosity, and so at some point in time, maybe DM me or something and let me know. Specifically how I know how we know each other, but specifically how we know each other. DM me and let me know, because now you have me curious. All right. So yeah, that's going to be a thumbs up for me. All right. Let's see. Oh, damn, we're at 1 o'clock. See, not only did we not have time to do a goût mélange, but we didn't even get to half the stuff that I wanted to get to. All right. I'm going to do this. I'm gonna go a little bit more. The reason is because I have to eat all this food, because as of the end of day tomorrow, we're not taking anything with us. So I have to eat it or throw it away. I don't like to throw away food. So I'm going to do this. If you can hang on a few more minutes, I'm going to try this. This is new. I was going to do this as an episode or a quickie or something, and I thought I would just do it on the channel. So this is a limited time offer inspired by the flavors of Thailand. And this is Lay's Thai style red curry flavored with other natural flavors. So let's see how they do this. Could you eat herring for breakfast every day? I don't think I can eat anything for breakfast every day. I don't like, well, I take that back because I almost do. I usually have a bowl of oatmeal in the morning. And when I say a bowl of oatmeal, I don't put milk or sugar in it. But I do put strawberries, blueberries, walnuts, usually like an omega trail mix. So it doesn't, it's not the one with chocolate bits or something like that in it. What else do I put in it? Might be it. Raisins and raisins as well. And then sometimes I slice up a banana and put a banana in it as well. So there's a lot of fruit in it. And I have the oatmeal every day. The reason I do that is because eating oatmeal, at least a bowl, this size bowl of oatmeal in the morning is supposed to be good for your cholesterol. Now, I don't have a problem with my cholesterol, and maybe it's because I eat oatmeal every day. But also, at my age, I have to be more conscious of that. And so if I eat the oatmeal to keep my cholesterol level low, it allows me to eat more stuff like this. Have you tried Doritos Golden Sriracha? I think we did a Trippy quickie on that, Miguel. You can check. Jules, can you check? I think we did a Trippy quickie on the Golden Sriracha. We did do it. I think it was a Trippy quickie. Jules, if you can find that, can you find that and put the link up? I think paper mill and lard rendering plants are the two worst smells I ever had the pleasure of experience. Funny you should mention that, Nashies, because that powder, it's a little bit tame for red curry. It does have that flavor. It's just a little bit subdued, a little bit tame. We'd really like to see them pump that up a little bit. It's a nice chip. It's light, it's airy, it's crispy. It does have that, it has a sneaky spice. That spice comes in afterwards. That's nice. I just wish that red curry flavor was a little bit more upfront. I'm going to give it a thumbs up, but trending downward slightly because of that. Now, you're talking about the smells of lard rendering plant. So, Nashies, I lived for a while in Woburn, Massachusetts. Now, the thing about Woburn, Massachusetts is Woburn, Massachusetts was the home of General Foods. I don't think they're not there anymore, but it's the home of General Foods. I think General Foods is in different places, but this particular plant in Woburn, Massachusetts is where they made Jell-O. And if you know anything about the way they made Jell-O, and they might not make it the same way anymore, is they would boil down like cattle carcasses. They boil down cattle carcasses to make the gelatin. And so that town of Woburn, especially like right off 93, would have that smell. Would have that smell of the boiled down carcasses. And my understanding was, and Julie, you can back me up on this. I don't know if this was true or not. My understanding was that they would take the carcasses after they boiled them down, and they would just kind of like either bury them or just throw them out in the field behind where General Foods was. And so that probably contributed to the smell. But it was not a pleasant smell if you were in Woburn, Massachusetts, and you were downwind of General Foods where they were making the Jell-O. Bones for the gelatin. Well, bones and skin, hooves. A lot of it comes from the hooves. It's kind of like what is that? The pork one. Head cheese. Head cheese is made by boiling down the head of a pig, the complete head of a pig, skull and everything. The head of a pig, and with the trotters, which is like this part. And they would boil that down, take the meat off the bones and everything, and then pour the broth in it, and the broth would solidify and make that gelatin. So that's where that gelatin comes from as well. Thank you, Jules. So Jules posted the Miguel. Jules posted the link for the Doritos Golden Sriracha review. I was a clinical assistant. Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, Jules, you never had an issue with the smell of durian, right? You had the smell of durian is fine. Have you reviewed the new Mountain Dew Baja Cabo Citrus? I've not seen it. Right, we'll have to look for it though. There we go. But my great grandfather loved head cheese and scrambled brains. We just did scrambled brains. Pork brains and eggs, I think, which is what you're talking about, scrambled brains. We just did that because somebody had requested it. So we have an episode where we did pork brains. Pork brains and milk gravy is what they called it. But pork brains and eggs, we just did that. And head cheese. I love head cheese. And my mom loved head cheese as well. That's the first time I tried it. Was my mom had it when we were kids. But some stories about head cheese. But that's for another day, because we were at 1:06 p.m. And as much as I love you guys and would love to continue talking with you, I still got some packing to do. Because like I said, I got tonight, tomorrow, that's it. And then Tuesday, I'm off. So I will see you guys soon. And next time I see you, I will be in Massachusetts. Again, I do have the trip to England coming up, and I'm going to try to see if I can do maybe a live stream from England. That would be kind of cool. Certainly going to film some episodes and everything. So my suggestion to you, my parting words to you, especially and we're going to try to do more travel-based stuff or travel-themed stuff. My advice to you is go. If you want to see something, go. Find a way to go. And the reason is because we don't get younger, right? Sometimes we say, like, I think maybe when I retire, I'm going to travel. And someday that day never comes. Either you die before you can retire, or your body breaks down to the point where you just can't travel anymore and everything. And so the thing is, if you want to see it, go out and do it. And the other thing is that the things are not always going to be there, right? World Trade Center. Oh, I have plenty of time to see the World Trade Center. It's like the building's going to go away anywhere, right? My big thing, the one I always tell people about, is Old Man of the Mountain. So if you go up to New Hampshire, the license plates, the state highway signs, everything that has to do with the state of New Hampshire has a picture of Old Man of the Mountain. And Old Man of the Mountain was a rock formation on the top of Cannon Mountain that looked like the profile of an old man's head. It had been there for tens of thousands of years. It was formed by glaciers. The same forces that formed it destroyed it. So basically, one day, I can't remember how long ago it was, maybe 20 years ago or so, the same forces of ice and water contracting and expanding that created it destroyed it, and it fell off the top of the mountain. So now it's Old Forehead of the Mountain. It's on all of New Hampshire stuff. If you never got a chance to go out and see it, now you can't. And so people are thinking, like, it's a mountain. It's part of a mountain. It's on the cliff. It's up. It's always going to be there. It's not necessarily always going to be there. So if you want to see something, if there's something you want to do in travel, just find a way to do it. I know that financially it's not always an option for people to travel and everything, but find a way to do it. Don't go on to your later years saying, I wish I had done that. I wish I had seen that. I wish I had gone there and everything. Just find a way to do it and make it happen and share it with somebody else. So if you can't take somebody with you to share it, do what I do and film it, right? And share it with somebody else. So I thank you all. Again, next time we talk, I will be at what is now called Trippy Foodies, which will soon be called Trippy Food. And we've got travel coming up. We got more stuff coming up. And I look forward to getting together with you guys again during the year. Love you guys. No one could ask for a better community than we have right here, and I thank you all so much for your support. If again, we are still planning on doing these are a few of my least favorite things. Once we get to 6,000 subscribers, we are like 35 subscribers away from 6,000 subscribers. I think we can do this. Let's not do fake accounts or anything, but I want to do it the right way. But we will do that once we get to our 6,000 subscribers, and we're very, very close. And I thank you for your support. If you enjoy our channel, you enjoy these chats that we have, and you have not subscribed, then please do so, because it helps us out. And also the other channels that we support as well: Janice Yamanaka, Tom Oldine, Colorado, Nashies, all great channels, and Joshua's channel. Everyone, there's some great channels. If you don't know who they are, go to our main page on YouTube, scroll down, look for featured channels, and they're all in there. Some of the ones that we recommend are people who don't really even do it anymore, but we just think they have great channels and we think you'll enjoy them. But those that are new, especially those that are new and maybe struggling and everything, if you enjoy their channels, then show them that by subscribing to them, liking the videos, leaving comments, because that helps them out a lot. So I thank you all so much. We will see you on the flip side. We'll see you on the other side of the country. And I thank you all again for your support. When you get out there, though, just remember that it's crazy. So please be careful. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others. And we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.